welcome to my channel. You have reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. And if you happen to like this video, please hit the like button. It will do wonders for my video. And also, write a note down to me in the comments. I will respond when I see your comments, and we'll chat that way for now. So I'm coming to you with a quick moment about, when relationships go wrong. But specifically, I'm talking about Dr. Dre and his wife, Nicole Young. If you're saying to me like, Cheryl, who is Dr. Dre and who is Nicole Young? Well, Dr. Dre, if you ever purchased Beats headphones, well, that's Dr. Dre. He is the co-founder of the Beats headphones and that whole Beats empire, okay? But prior to that, he was a rapper. He was part of a group called NWA. There is a movie out about like his life and his group's life. Is called Straight Outta Compton. I do not recall the exact year that movie came out, but it was an excellent movie, So, kind of do some research on Dr. Dre, but he is a big deal, and the last I checked, his net worth was $1 billion. So now he's getting a divorce from his wife, Nicole Young. Nicole actually filed for divorce, and she said that they just irreconcilable differences is what she wrote down in the divorce paperwork. And so recently TMZ, well, let me back up before I get to the TMZ story. According to Nicole, they did have a prenup, but early on in the marriage, I don't know if it was few months in or a couple years in, she said that Dre professed his love to her even more and said, look, I guess I was wrong for asking for this prenup to prove that I love you so much. He stood in front of her, and these are my notes, so I don't want to rip it up too much. He stood in front of her and allegedly tore up the prenup. So that is what she said to us, that she wanted to say to the judge or whoever in these courts, like, don't go by any prenup because Dre tore that prenup up in front of me. We'll come back to that. Okay, just had to throw that in there. So they're divorcing. There is a prenup, but Nicole feels that Dre tore the prenup up in front of her, so it should be null and void. Allegedly, to throw this in there too, people have said that Nicole studied law or was a lawyer. So if she studied law or was a lawyer, she should know a little bit about these things and understand that, someone just simply taking a piece of paper and ripping it up in front of you, a contract, doesn't mean anything. Like, you can still take the contract back together, but let's forget about that for a minute. When you have something like a prenup that is usually drawn up by a lawyer, once a lawyer is involved, they're going to have a copy of it. You're going to have a copy, and God knows, maybe there's a copy filed in the court somewhere. I don't know, but if I tear up my original copy, what does that really mean? Nicole should have known that in order to really void it out, they would have had to write something after that to get it voided out and then file that paperwork. But hold on to that for 1 second. Keep what I said, that Dr. Dre is allegedly worth $1 billion. Now they're getting a divorce. There's this whole thing with a prenup up in the air. But let's just say and tell you about what Nicole wants. Nicole wants $2 million a month, and she wants Dre to pay for her lawyer fees. And prior to this, then she just wants that right now while they're trying to work out the divorce. But she has filed before that she wants $400 million. And if he's worth $1 billion, 400 million of his billion is almost half his money. And you tell me, I don't know. I'm not saying what I would or wouldn't do, but, and they've been married 24 years. Let me throw that in there. They've been married 24 years and they have 2 children together, but the children are adults. Like, they're not young kids that are still in school, that would require, you know, a different set of money, so to speak, so that she can continue to raise them. To my understanding, these are both adult children. When I say adult, like 18 or over, probably in college or whatever, and but they're not little small children. So there will be no child support, I guess is what I'm trying to add in there. So they 24 years of marriage. He's worth $1 billion, and they have 2 children, and there is this prenup floating out there. But what Nicole wants is $400 million. And while they're waiting to see how the divorce pans out, she wants $2 million a month, and she wants Dr. Dre to pay her lawyer fees, which she's claiming is $5 million. Okay, so now I have to just go to my notes here so I can make sure I'm giving you everything. Dre is 55, and I believe Nicole, his wife, is 50, right? So when they met, and I'm sorry I'm throwing this all in there scattered, because this whole thing just like has me like, wow. So let me throw this in there. When they met, she was married to a basketball player, an NBA player, okay? Allegedly, they started dating while she was still married. Allegedly, Dre wrote her this letter saying, leave your husband that you're with now, come with me and I will take care of you. She allegedly left the husband, went with Dre, and they got married 4 months after meeting. So she left her husband at the time, 24 years ago, married Dr. Dre, and 4 months after the meeting, they got married. Let me throw this in there to see if it matters. Do you care? Or she should just get the $400 million anyway, right? That's that part of the story. Another part of the story is, now Dre wasn't married, but he had other women, and some of these other women had his children. And at the time, if you go watch Straight Outta Compton, or maybe there's documentaries, because now I'm blending all the things that the research that I gathered, he was with someone when he got with Nicole, and she's actually, you know, has a little singing career of her own. Her name is Michel'le, and, you know, he kicked Michel'le out the house, and Michel'le has one of his children. Or I think 2, maybe one, maybe just one. Let me not mix that up. Maybe she has one of his children, and he has 7. 2 by his wife that is about to divorce him, Nicole, and the other 5, because I said he has 7, are different women. So he had, you know, he was with Michel'le, then got with Nicole, and apparently Michel'le was living in a house with him. She got kicked out. Nicole allegedly threw her stuff out the house. So I'm just telling you the dynamics of who we are dealing with here, who these 2 key players are. So y'all started your foundation off, even though they was together for 24 years. You started your foundation off based on deceit. And I'm here to tell everybody, whether you're a celebrity or not, you're rich or poor, when your foundation is built in deceit, nothing good ever comes out of that. My opinion. Nothing good. I don't care what y'all do. I don't care if you're living in a mansion, you're living in a shack. When you build your foundation off of deceit, that's what grows. That's what grows. That's what happens, okay? So I'm giving you the background here of their story. She was married when she met Dre. Dre told her to leave her husband. She left her husband. 4 months later, they get married. Dre was with somebody when he got with Nicole. Nicole kicked that woman out the house, threw her stuff out. And Nicole also knew that he had these, I'm sure if he has 7, I'm believing that, allegedly had the other 5 children before him and Nicole even got married. So you knew about these other children, Nicole. And I'm not saying you don't marry a man just because he has other children, but the character of a person, how is he treating these other children, these 5 other children? And throughout this 24-year marriage, did y'all engage or have a life with these 5 other children? Or did you just carry on like it was just you, him, and the 2 children? I don't know. But again, let's go back to Dre. He's 55. Remember I told you the co-founder of Beats, the headphones. That's a big deal. Aftermath Entertainment had several albums. One of them was called The Chronic, 2001, Compton, Detox, Hikmatic. Now, let me tell you how far Nicole is going. Now, Nicole also filed in the courts that, their property, everything that he attained or they attained once they got married belongs to the both of them. And she also wants his name. Like, she's saying that he did not file trademark for the Dr. Dre name until after they got married. She is coming for his pockets. Once again, I'm not saying whether that is right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't know, you tell me, but she's coming for his pockets, including his name. But he's saying that he used his name before they even got married. But her claim is, yeah, he used it, but he didn't trademark it until after we got married. I don't know. We got to stay tuned and see what's going to go down with this, and I will keep you posted, okay? So TMZ said that, this information I got from TMZ's site, that even though Nicole claims that Dr. Dre ripped up this prenup in front of her, of course, recently Dr. Dre presented the prenup in the court and what the prenup says is that all property that they get, after the marriage, what she gets is hers, and what he gets is his. The only thing she did not waive her right to in this prenup, according to what I read on TMZ's site, was spousal support. And so Nicole is definitely asking for spousal support. And right now, as a temporary request, she wants $2 million a month. Listen, I'm not mad at anybody, but what are you doing that you need $200,000? I'm saying $200,000. She wants $2 million a month. What are you doing that you need $2 million a month? But listen, that's her request, okay? And in addition to the $2 million a month, she wants $5 million because she wants Dr. Dre to pay for her lawyer fees, and she wants $5 million for her lawyers. And what he said was, I haven't even paid my lawyers $5 million. Why does her lawyers need $5 million? I don't know. I wish the lawyers could talk to us and break it down. Like, what kind of divorce you need $5 million to defend this woman, right? So she's, I told you that she's entitled to the spousal support according to the prenup. But how much spousal support she's going to get, I don't know. But Dr. Dre's lawyer said that he's been paying all of her bills since they've been separated. And at best, she needs, all of her bills, because I guess she has to have security, which I can understand. But all of her bills amount to $300K a month. And he said he has been paying that. So, that should be good enough. And I'm trying to see what else I have here for you. Yeah, they have the 2 children together. He's worth $1 billion. And he's saying that, she wants more money for her lawyers than he's paying for his. So I have to say this to everyone. I do believe in prenups because here's the thing. What's very unfortunate. When you get married and I think I had heard Kenya Moore say this from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I believe this wholeheartedly too. The person you divorce is not the person you married. It is not. People get ugly, they get nasty, they get grimy, they get vicious. And so in the heat of the moment, there's sometimes people will not be fair. So if you have this piece of paper in place that you place, when y'all was happy, that y'all created when y'all was happy, and now we can present it when people are angry, it may just, lessen the amount of time you have to drag things through court. Courts is expensive, lawyers are expensive, and there are some times where if a couple can't work this thing out, dragging it out in the courts just can take forever and can just drain the funds that are there. So, I do believe in a prenup. Him allegedly ripping this prenup, up in front of her to profess his love or whatever the case may be, I have to say this, she was foolish on that. Anybody with, half a brain should know that it's not just, oh, let me just rip it up. No, we have to go back to the courts, rewrite this thing and say that we both agree that this prenup, we don't want to go by it anymore. And that's that. Outside of even a prenup, with, let's just say there's no prenup to be had, I still don't know if 24 years is worth $400 million of his money. But I say that loosely, and I'm saying that loosely because if throughout those 24 years, she was helping him with the company and, doing all of that, then I'm going to say wholeheartedly, give her that $400 million. And matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to back it up. He's worth $1 billion. I'm going to say give her $500 million, and I'm going to tell you why my brain just triggered and say, change your mind, Cheryl. She deserves $500 million. I'm going to tell you why she deserves $500 million. Because there are some cases, I don't know if you people are fans of the Real Housewives, franchise, but there are the Real Housewives of New York, and now most recently the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You have two couples, okay? On the Real Housewives of New York, there was a couple, Teresa and Joe Giudice, right? He got into some trouble, her husband, for I think like signing paperwork, like defrauding money, mortgages or something like that. Teresa says she didn't know anything about it, but she did sign paperwork. But who doesn't sign paperwork that their husband's like, okay, honey, we're getting this insurance policy. It's your husband. You be like, okay, where did I sign? You just sign it and you finish making the chicken or whatever you're doing in your house. So, but since he defrauded people and they were a couple, when, charges came against him, they brought charges against the both of them and said that, you just being a wife and saying you just signed is no excuse. So my problem is, if as a couple, I can go down for something my husband did illegally, and I'm not allowed to say I didn't really know about it, and because I signed, that's it, I'm hooked to my husband like that. So if I am hooked to my husband like that, if he did a crime and I have to go down with him, and this might be a very harsh example, but it's almost like that Ponzi scheme in New York. Bernie Madoff. They dragged the wife and the kids down with him. The wife swore she didn't know. I can't say whether she did or not. I personally felt like they didn't know everything until the end. But you know what? The world dragged the wife and the kids down with the husband for his crimes. So I'm just saying, as a wife, if you're going to hook me onto my husband's crime, then you hook me onto my husband's goodness too. So on that note, after 24 years, if this man is worth $1 billion, then Nicole should get her $500 million. and they should split the houses equally, and everything else should split equally. And then, she goes her way and he goes his. And you know what? That verdict just came to me. That's my final verdict. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but look up the case. Tell me how you feel. It's Dr. Dre and Nicole Young. Nicole was only asking for $400 million. And at first, when I heard all of these things in the news, I was like, whoa, that is just greedy. Like, she is crazy. Like, what do you need $400 million for? Okay? And like, he made that money. But you know what? They made that money together. They were a couple together. They made that money together. She had to his kids. And so now I am saying, it's my final word. Nicole should get $500 million of this $1 billion pot from Dr. Dre. That's what Nicole should get. And if you let me know if you agree with me, let me know if you understand what I'm trying to say. And before you answer me, look up these other cases. Look up how these wives, they go down if their husband do a crime. So if you're going to go down, if you're going to be totally connected to your husband, and if your husband does a crime and you're going to go down with your husband, then you should get half of that money. The other case that I want you to look up, and I have a video about it on my channel, it is with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's Erica Jane and her husband Tom Girardi, and they're saying that they're being accused of some horrific stuff also, and it looks like both of them are gonna go down. Both of them are going to go down. So my thing is, if my husband does a crime and you're going to take me down with my husband, then when my husband makes the big dollars and we're no longer getting along and we got to split, then you give me half of that money. You give me half of that money. So you know what? Nicole, get your $500 million, and that's my final answer. That's my final answer. But listen, guys, thank you for listening. I hope you liked the video. Like it, share it, tell your friends about me. And listen, stay safe and happy holidays, because it is Christmas Eve. So whatever you celebrate, happy holidays. Stay safe. I hope you have fun with all your family and friends, but in a safe way. In a safe way. We're still not out of this pandemic. Praying to God, and everybody, if we all pray, it says when 1, 2, and 3 come together, God will hear them. God will answer their prayers. Let's all pray for the end of COVID-19 in this pandemic, and that this vaccine will be available to everyone. Thank you, guys. Love you. Thanks for listening. Like my video, share my video, make comments in the comment section, and I will respond. Have a good one.